How's it going, everyone? Thank you for joining Shop Talk Live. My name is Rick Ramirez, also known as Rick's 2 Cents, along with my fellow co-host Steve from Steve Makes Everything,
Hi, y'all.
and Roger from Roger's Shop.
Howdy, howdy. Hey, shake my lizard here.
That's too much information.
Yeah,
It's like gotta.
you got to get the conversation started.
Or just one continuous beep.
If anyone has any questions, let us know. Let us know.
We got the Australian crowd tonight. I see.
Oh, Santa's laser graving here is saying, he says, how's everyone this evening? Just figured out that running his fiber laser interferes with his TV remote. We have a situation where if we're running the microwave in our kitchen, our TV remote doesn't work.
What kind of remote isn't it? Most remotes are IR now.
No, this is RF.
Or RF?
Yeah.
Well, you should probably check the seal on your microwave then.
Yeah.
Have you felt this slow burning sensation every time you go in the kitchen?
So I should stop staring in the window while I'm making popcorn.
Yeah, the seals on the microwaves can go bad, and then they start leaking microwaves out into your kitchen. It's not healthy.
Jack said, "Yep, the IR will fill the room." Everyone saying hello, hello. Hey, TV marketing, hello, hello. Thank you for joining. You want to read this one?
So you have a materials library for setting channels on the TV.
You got to run a material test and Lightburn, and it'll let you know. Too funny. Nothing a little cardboard won't fix, Jack.
Tinfoil.
There you go. So if you're making videos with a tinfoil hat on, we won't make fun of you. We'll know why. David's hello, everyone. Let us know where you're joining us from. Let us know where you're joining. Let's see. Gary said hello from Waverly, Iowa.
Yeah, not too far from me. Portland, Oregon. That's really far from me.
Roger, one of our subscribers, I forget his name now. He's probably here live, but he had sent me an email saying, "Hey, I wasn't joking about going and seeing you and Roger. Since he's in Joliet, like 20 minutes from me, he's like, let's meet and then head towards Roger." So I said, I'll circle back with you offline and see if we can set something up.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Radu said, "Hey, David, I've been meaning to call you, but life got away. I keep moving." So talking to someone in the line.
Yep, that happens.
Jack in the shop said duct tape and baling wire.
That fixes everything.
Duct tape, handyman secret weapon.
There you go.
Actually, I have both in my truck.
You said duck or duck?
Right around here.
Said duck or duck? We pronounce it duck in North Carolina. Too funny. Morse code.
Oh, we're going to lose Roger here in a second. Yeah.
Roger glows in the dark from the microwave.
It's just the shirt. It's throwing you off.
So, hey, off from Ozark, Alabama.
Yeah.
Hello, hello. Hello
David
from Ocean Springs, Mississippi.
David at Blue Wave Designs.
That's
a new one.
Name. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. Hey, Dave, is this your first time joining? And if it's not, I apologize. Just don't recognize the name. Appreciate you stopping in. Let us know if you have any questions.
It's a pretty distinct username, so.
Yeah, for sure.
Omaha, Nebraska.
There you go.
Crowd here tonight.
So Steve was teasing me talking about this tool changer. So I had to get one. See what happens when you have friends that are bad influencers?
This one is different than mine.
Okay, so what's different?
So mine is actually a square box, and it's got six places for collets. They did, when I was talking to the Rapid Change guys, they did say they were making a different one though, and it made it easier to get around the dust boot or something. Because mine, to change tools, you have to take the dust boot off.
Yeah, what was kind of crazy was that I was surprised how expensive the just the mounting bracket to mount it to this was. It was over $100 just for the bracket. I'm like, really?
What?
Yeah.
Mine just had screw hole mounts, and I just took my CNC and chiseled out a square, a rectangle the right size, and recessed the thing. And
yeah, no, it has a special bracket, so I guess so then it knows where it's at, like, because how it's sitting.
Yeah, well, you program. Well, they actually built in the Masso controller now. They actually built support for the Rapid Change.
Yeah,
So
that's
because mine, before I did the update of my Masso controller, had to jump through a whole bunch of hoops because Masso wasn't supporting it and they didn't want to support it. But I guess Onefinity supplies that as their standard tool changer. So I guess they pushed on Masso to add support for it.
Well, I'm back. His microphone was activating his phone. I had to take that call. It was very, very important. It had to do with my wife and medical and all that kind of stuff. So I had to take it.
Hope Fisher's doing better.
Yeah.
Tim,
Hey,
good
Tim.
evening.
Tim,
Good evening,
Tim got a CNC. He's totally hooked now.
Nice. Nice. Welcome to the addiction. Yeah, so I should have my PWN CNC soon, very soon. So I'm excited about that.
I was trying to suggest to Tim that he buy my Omni 1 as well, because I'm going to have to get rid of some more lasers. But he's all spent out now.
I hear you. I'm tapped out myself. I just bought a bunch of sheets of that HDPE.
Yeah.
Like green, white, green, like red, white, red, yellow, black,
multi-layer
yellow,
stuff.
All your primary colors basically. And I came home and Ricky had a fort set up. And I was like, you do realize like that's like hundreds of dollars worth of plastic you're using.
Yeah, it's cheaper for you to just buy him a house to play in.
He has it all like teed up, and he even drew on it with permanent markers. I'm like, kid. On the cardboard boxes, you know.
Oh.
But I'm like, this kid. He's like, well, I made a fort.
Alcohol will take permanent marker off anyway.
Yeah. They're still in the box. So it was just kind of funny though. David said, be on a few times. I apologize then. Well, thank you for coming back. Let us know if you have any questions. Kevin said, hey guys, driving again. So just listening, driving from New York to PA to Seawall, New Jersey. Man, you're on a mission, man, on a mission.
You must be a truck driver or something.
Yeah, Kevin, let us know. Are you a professional driver?
How do you get a laser in the back of a tractor?
I'm sure there's been stranger things in the back of a tractor. David said from South Milwaukee. Let's see, hold on.
Okay, for you electrical engineer types, I kind of fall into that category. Want to replace the exhaust fan on my Omtech 60 watt, have a V-bore inline. The question is, can I run from Lightburn? Some say solenoid, no. And some say just a relay. Yes, you'll need a relay, but you'll need to match that relay to whatever output voltage is from your motherboard, and you're going to have a way to trigger it. You're going to have an output.
Yeah. Well, you could use a solid state relay, then it's not quite as finicky.
Yeah. SSRs will work too. They're a little more variable with their voltage. So, so you go like, if you're using SSR, you can easily go get one of the ones that'll run from 5 to 50 volts DC, and you'll be in the right range.
Side. Yeah, that's my go-to. I don't use mechanical relays anymore for any of this kind of project.
Or you just connect them separate and turn it on manually.
Well, yeah, a
Mine's
switch
not manual
sometimes works the best.
This is just a relay. Jim, better late than never. Better late than never.
Hey, Jim's been busy. He's been telling me some of his tales.
Chris said
And turn away
internally
for the
for
alcohol.
cheers.
Yeah, good evening.
Marco Ochoa.
Maurizio.
Ochoa.
Tim says a question for me. Where's the damn on button on this CNC? Geez, I don't remember. There's one on the back of the control unit. On the back, might be on the front. And I think that's the only one.
All right, here you go. Want to take this one, Roger?
This is not in my wheelhouse here. This is brass coins. That's what you guys do. I don't have a
Okay.
figure for that.
Santa says, not a question, just something most of you know, and I'm learning through the learning curve of fiber. Well, yeah. Slow speed for brass coin engrave. So many settings to consider. You can, well, it depends. You got a pretty high power fiber laser, so you can probably go pretty quick. Like, I don't know, on when you're doing the engraves, probably at least 1,000 millimeters a second.
And keep in mind that when you create the image, the color that you're using for the 3D slice makes a drastic difference on how it engraves it. So if it's black, if it's white, if it's a light gray, white means nothing, and the darker it is means more. So just because if you have it on 3D slice, it can make totally different on how the image is engraved based on how the image is imported, right? So
yeah, assuming you have like a depth map type image,
yes,
that goes from black to white, and you're probably going to want to do a couple hundred passes.
Yeah,
which sounds like a lot, but if you're moving at 1,000 or 1,500 millimeters a second, it doesn't take that long.
Yeah, it goes pretty quick. Kevin said, not professional driver, trained hospital staff on cardiac procedures all over the U.S. and Canada, Little Rock, Arkansas next week. Nice. I was just headed out east on a plane, and I met an ex-Marine, and that's exactly what he does. That's pretty cool.
Wow.
ADBT Mark and Rick, I was looking at your DTF 101 playlist. I didn't know you were into DTFing. That doesn't look right. LOL. Anyways, how much are you into DTF? As far as I'm aware, I was like one of 4 that first did DTF in the US in very, very early stages. So, yeah, I guess I was in the early stages of the DTF film, powder, ink, and even when there wasn't DTF printers, there were just modded printers. So, yeah, I got pretty crazy geeky into it. I actually took a year off YouTube to focus on my apparel business, and then I kind of came back. So, if you have any questions, let me know.
Now everybody has a DTF printer.
Yeah.
Okay, Jim saying, talk about inline fans. Can I use a 4-inch fan for 2 double lasers running at one time?
Yeah, you should be able to.
Yeah, and the big thing to remember here is when you're ducting it, if you can use like smooth pipe and don't use that corrugated like dryer vent stuff, because that really slows your CFM down. It's a lot of drag. So you want smooth pipe, like just steel pipe.
I just went and bought water main PVC.
Well, that'll work too.
Mm-hmm.
And that way that I could use like that dryer kit, you clean your dryer vent with. Literally stick it on a drill and just go, just run it through it. You'll see all that blow out outside.
Does it actually get, well, how long is it? How long is the pipe, the run?
Well, I have a T so I can get into it in more than one direction, but it's connected to all my lasers.
Yeah. Well, but do you actually get enough dirt in the pipe to have to clean it?
Coins.
Oh,
coins. Yeah, coins.
See, my fan is literally bolted to the pipe on the way out, so the pipe is only about 6 inches long.
You know when I know it's dirty and it sounds weird? I can taste it on my lips. Like it's leaving like some metallic still like
You
in
should
the
stop
air.
sucking the fan, man.
And, you know, when you're a little kid, you're on like going, hello. I'm saying next to doing that. No,
Making all those weird sounds with the fan.
don't act like hey, you guys know you did that too when you were a kid. You know you did.
No, I didn't do that.
Did you do that, Roger?
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, so I have that. But yeah, so then I bought a hydrophonic inline fan. And the only reason I want
Yeah,
hydrophonic,
that's what I have. Like this. Well, this one is a 4-inch. I have a 4-inch on that I just use for any portable things that I'm testing or something, and I have a 6-inch one on my big CO2 laser.
yeah, I have
But
a
that's
6
probably overkill, really.
Yeah, I have a 6 but on my I have a 6-inch, but on my fiber lasers, I took those 3 desktop fans, what are 30 millimeters, and hooked it to that enclosure just to kind of draw in that dust. And even just that box that I built that draws it in, like I gotta blow that thing out because it really sucks in a lot of you know, just to show how much, you know, when you're doing these coins and at the end of the day, especially if you're buying these Amazon specials or you're buying them, it's different when you buy it from that distributor we're going through. You know, it's like 100% pure copper. I mean, brass.
Yeah,
But when you look,
stuff's actually really nice to engrave, and it's clean.
right,
It's fairly clean.
right. But if you're buying some cheap Amazon or something, you don't know what's in that, man. You
A
know,
lot of
so,
nickel. There's a lot of nickel
Yeah.
in those cheap ones you buy on Amazon.
Yeah.
The only ones I've seen on Amazon that are actually engravable are the ones from Com Marker's Amazon store.
Yeah, I think you had mentioned it before. I've never seen them.
Yeah, the rest of them, they're just total garbage. Like I
Yeah.
haven't found any other ones that are good.
Well,
The only
Jim
purpose
here,
I found for the bad ones is I can UV print on them and make color challenge coins.
There you go.
now Jim says here he's found that green paper coasters, that would be the heavy paper. They're a great door opener, upscale bars or restaurants, and they would be. The problem is the laser engraving them is so much slower than just printing them.
Yeah.
That's why I don't do the heavy paper ones.
Chris said the problem with a solid pipe exhaust is I'm forever rearranging the lasers, and it's a few inches out of position. That's why I didn't glue any of my pipes, so I could take a rubber mallet and just knock them apart.
Yeah, but you'd still have to change the length of the pipe.
Right. But if you glued them, my lasers are pretty permanent. Like that side of my shop is all lasers. This side's, you know, all the woodworking stuff. But
Well, up in the loft where I have 3 lasers running up there that are all ducted into fans. It's solid ducting except the last probably 2 feet. It's that flexible aluminum dryer duct.
Yeah.
So I can move it around a little bit. If I change the, if I take the extra lump and then I'm stack in or something, I can easily adapt to it.
ABT Marketing said, Rick, I've been doing research on DTF printers and products. In my opinion, the tech and products have gotten better. What's your take on that? So the inks, the solvents, the film, the powders definitely got improved. And the difference between the consumables is that it doesn't have like when you rub it or touch it, it doesn't have like a paper sound. You know, it's the reason I used to like DTG so much is because DTG can be such a high resolution. It actually like absorbs it into the material. So you get like, that's your best print you could probably ever get as far as high resolution and, you know, durability. And DTF early on still had that vinyl type feel. But now with the better films and the better powders and inks, you really can't feel that lip, and you're getting the same close to DTG durability as far as stretchability and not cracking your print. It's not vinyl; it's not going to crack. And even a silk screen that's a great you know, print, it will crack if you stretch it, right? So Adidas, Nike are using DTF now, so that's for a reason. But I would say when it comes to machines, early on, they were smaller desktops and they were larger. You'd see these Epson printers, and the reason that is because Walgreens and Walmart faded out these Epson printers that they were using to print photos. So you saw thousands of those printers being converted to a commercial DTF. But now you're able to really buy probably 4 or 5 different major brands. Like we talk with lasers, everything's rebranded. 4 or 5 major brands that are reputable. And the biggest difference you're going to notice in the printers is how many channels it has. So you're going to see some of these newer ones that have like 8 and 12 and crazy amounts of channels. Don't do it. You're going to have enough problems what it is maintaining your print heads on just your standard prints. But I would definitely get a printer that at least has two print heads. And then also keep in mind that when you're curing that film, if you plan to make like a business side or a print it, that shaker is going to be 6-8 feet long unless you have a vertical one, which would go straight up and go down. And then if you're going to buy that, you better get a good one so that you don't have problems. So the only company that I know that actually has stateside DTF printers, you might want to Google him. His name's Dennis Moon. He's on Facebook, YouTube, everything. He's in Texas, and he's phenomenal. I have no affiliation with him whatsoever. Just when I first started out, he helped me out a great deal. And he really they coined him the godfather of DTF. So if that doesn't say something, I don't know what does. You want to take this one, Steve?
Santa says, as I sit watching my brass coin from Amazon engrave right now. So just take a magnet and try and stick the coin to it. If the coin sticks, then it's probably mostly nickel or something inside.
Yeah.
A bunch of scrap steel, and then they brass plate it. You'll find out if it's impossible to clean at the end. If it's just black, then it's nickel or something on the inside.
So Tim said, ABT Marketing, I own an X-Tool apparel printer. It's the best I've ever seen. I would say this. I'm not bashing X-Tool because they're a reputable company. But I would say if that's the best printer you've ever seen, you've never seen nothing yet. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it's a maintenance thing though, right? Like they've spent time to make things maintenance free. And this is the big difference between, like I was talking to a guy today at West, and he's in like he's got a shop and does awards and things, and he's got a big flatbed UV printer, and I was telling him about these UV Make E1s, and he went, "Oh," I said, I bet you're spending at least 4 hours a week doing maintenance on this UV printer of yours, and he said, "Yeah." I said, "This thing, I can turn it on for 3 weeks and not use it, and then run a job, and it works fine."
Right. Yeah. See, DTF, man, it has to cycle, and you have to wet cap. There's things for
but the
life
same
span.
UV printers, big UV printers have the same problem, right? With white ink.
Yes, because they have metallic in it.
Yeah, and they keep the head pressurized all the time, so
Right.
the ink gets in there, and then it cures, and that doesn't seem to happen on the E1. I think they pump back the ink back into the reservoir, and so the head is basically empty at some point after, I think it's 3 hours or 3 days or something. And it means when you go back to the printer, it'll have to
prime itself.
It'll have to reload the ink, which takes a couple of minutes, but that's a heck of a lot easier than getting in there and tearing the print head apart to try and clean it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even on the DTF printers that have the circulation tank, you have to still take that tank and open it up, because a 1/4 inch on the bottom, it can't touch the bottom of the container, right?
Yeah. So in the E1, the white ink cartridge has the magnetic stir built right into it, and it's in the bottom. And when you put the thing in, it'll periodically stir. You can hear it clunking away there, and so it always stirs the white tank.
Yes.
So you don't run into that same problem that they have with DTF. This is one of the reasons why they have their own ink cartridges, because they wanted to make sure the white ink doesn't get turned into paste.
Yeah, because once they start introducing other people's inks, they can't control
Yeah.
the quality of anything. They lost it. Roger, you're up.
Okay, so the mix of ducting works for me. Why is the obvious so hard to see? LOL. No, that's with the people that can't see the forest because a bunch of trees in the way.
Mm-hmm. Jim said, I'm buying 1.5 millimeter paper coasters. It takes about 5 seconds per coaster to engrave.
Yeah, but my only thing with the paper coasters is you got setup. And every batch you're going to set up, if you're printing them and you're running them through a printer, you can do that pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, but these are really just like door openers, right? It's
Yeah.
not like you're going to typically sell 1,000 of these paper coasters to someone. If that at that point, you just subcontract a print shop to make them for you. But if you go in with like a $10 coaster, they're not going to talk to you, right? If you say, "Oh, look at this. Here's a coaster with your name on it. Happens to be a cardboard one," they'll still talk to you because you say I'll sell you these for 50 cents or $1 or whatever, and they keep talking, which is what you're trying to do, right?
Our biggest thing in the
It's not even the coasters. Like I keep saying, don't rely on making coasters. It's just to get in the door so you can make charcuterie boards and stuff for them, right?
Yeah, or in my case, tumblers. We do a lot of sublimation tumblers.
Tumblers, glasses. Jim's doing a lot of glasses now, he said. Hey, Great Lakes Laser Supply is here.
Yeah, I'm going to post this link in the comments. That's Dennis Moon's Facebook page. If you're looking for a DTF printer, tell him I sent you. I'll take care of you. He's that good of a guy. You literally can go down to Texas and he'll let you work for him to teach you how to use his printers, right? You're going to buy one. If you basically couldn't handle to work for him for a day, you shouldn't buy a $30,000 printer, right? But if you can learn from him, then you can go home and replicate. And the cool thing is too is if you buy from him, things are going to happen. Things are going to break. Things are consumable parts. He prints too, so you won't ever be down. You can still provide to your customers. Let's see here.
You're right there.
Okay. What's going on, man? How did your event go? I know he had a big Eon Laser, I think, was there, and someone else. I forget.
Oh, it was the commercial red lasers, whatever they are. ATB.
The ones who are known for the headstones. What is it? They were talking to me for about a laser. It never happened. I forget the name of it. Roger, you got a question?
Okay, so TJ Michael saying, do you save bamboo RFID tags to fool the AMS with non-bamboo filament like sunblue or a generic? I've never tried it. I suppose you could do that. The problem is where you have to place it.
So Roger, for the rest of us, do you want to explain what that question even means?
Well, there's an RFID tag on a spool of bamboo filament. Hang on a second. I'm going to grab one. This is a spool of bamboo, a partial spool. And right here is the RFID tag. So you see it's almost inside the center of the spool. And to place that on a generic spool or, like Sunblue or something like that, where you don't have these two-part spools, I got to be careful I don't unravel this. That'd be a mess. Just lock back in. There's one on each side. So there's an RFID tag on each side, and that's what the printer reads as this goes around. But it's way down inside. So when you have a full spool of filament, it would be almost impossible to put that into a generic.
They mount it on an empty spool before they wind the filament on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be pretty tough. I got 4 new rolls of bamboo filament today or yesterday. I'm just buying it from Bamboo now. It's like $1 more or something.
Yeah, I do too, and I like the reusable filaments or the reusable spools. This is carbon fiber here, by the way, on this one.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Once you have a handful of these spools, you can just buy the rolls. You don't have to buy the actual spool.
The other thing that's nice too, provided you keep up with your tagging and you keep your spool straight, it says right here what's in the spools. PLA, CF, carbon fiber.
Yeah.
Or if I get TPU or I've got one of the other ones, ABS or.
Yeah, I bought a roll of their TPU to try.
So $1 more, and then you really take out the risk, basically, right?
Well, it's better filament. Like I've tried a bunch of other ones, and like I have some Sunlu, and it works great, but it's just marginally not as good as the Bamboo stuff. So I don't know. It's not worth the fight, right? It's just like they have free shipping if you order a few spools. You might as well just order them from.
And I do use Sunlu filament. I use a recycled filament, which is really, really cheap. I use it for prototypes. I don't use it on anything that we sell as shit. It's strictly for prototypes and testing and toys for the grandkids and stuff like that.
Yeah. What I noticed is the filaments that are expensive from Bamboo are expensive from everybody. So
yeah,
you might as well just stick with them. I actually now I'm at the point where I'll use Bamboo filament in my other 3D printers too.
Oh wow, probably. That says something.
Well, it's just you get it. It's one-stop shopping, and they have like I ordered it 2 days before I got it. Like I ordered it. What day is this? Wednesday. I ordered it on Friday, and I got it yesterday. So
speaking of shipping, when I ordered that tool changer, I asked them, "Hey, how long is it going to take for this to arrive?" They said, "We'll ship it out in 3 weeks." I said, I've been recording all this content. I really want to drop all this content next week. I'd like to include it. I got an email in 2 hours said, "We'll ship it out tomorrow." I was like, "Well, cool."
Meanwhile, there's some guy sitting at a desk in a warehouse, looking at a mountain of them behind him, going, "What am I going to do with all these things?"
Right? Like, why would it take 3 weeks? Like, come on, man.
Did you get it direct from Rapid Change?
No, I got it from P2 and CNC.
Oh, okay.
For Onefinity. I'm sorry, for Onefinity.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess they figured if you were willing to wait, 4 or 5 months for your CNC, a couple more weeks for a tool changer wouldn't be.
3 weeks was like, come on, man, you guys are killing me.
Yeah, I'm surprised you only got the 4 slot one. I have the 6, and it's not enough.
Really? I honestly, I don't think I even saw an option for a 6.
Yeah, because that's a different model, right? That's the one that's specific to Onefinity, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't even think that I saw. I'm gonna go on their website real quick.
Like now, if I was buying another one, I'd get like a 12 slot one if I could get one.
Oh wow. Let's see here.
Well, it's just like you can load up every time you do a job. You could load up the tool changer with the bits you need, or you could just put all your bits in there and.
Yeah, they only offer the 4 on their website.
Because it's a real pain in the ass if you have a job that uses 4 different tool bits and 3 of them are in the tool changer and 1 isn't.
Oh,
then you might as well just not use the tool changer at that point. It's just too hard.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, I thought and maybe I'll retract my statements. But I thought 4 for the projects I'd be doing would be enough. We'll see if that holds true, but
yeah. Well, inevitably you have a couple of end mills, like a 1/4 and an 1/8, and maybe a couple of V bits. Well, there's 4 right there, right?
I'd say for the bulk of what I'm making is American flags and catch-all little trays. I'm not saying I'm not. Oh, and signs.
Well, the catch all, you probably won't be able to use the tool changer anyway because you're gonna have a bowl bit.
Right.
And I don't. Well, your tool changer might support it. I don't think mine will handle a bit that big.
Yeah. So we'll see. Great Lakes Laser Supply said we had an event with Ufi on Sunday. It was a blast. I was able to shut it down for travel and set up with ease. Nice.
Yeah, I think I saw some photos from that, because I saw the this was the Michigan or Minnesota something or other maker thing, because there was some Eufy stuff there as well.
ATB Marketing said, had the same thought. It's like Sony manufacturing cameras. In my opinion, manufacturers should stick at what they're good at. I get it; they want a piece of whatever, but they can't get their they can get their hands in. Yeah. So, yeah, if someone's known for something, they refine the process. You know, when they jump in a new pool, it's not always the same quality.
Yeah, I don't know if that comment was slamming Sony for making cameras, because Sony's made cameras for like 60 years.
Ever. Yeah.
Well,
like
they have branched out into some strange things too. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, PlayStation at one end.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've made professional cameras for a long time. Studio cameras, I mean, video, not photo too, I guess. But like my camera here, the FX3 is a semi-pro studio camera.
Oh, we're not OnlyFans stars, so some of us don't. Let's have the cheaper guys.
I had money I didn't know what to do with, so I stored it in a camera.
There you go. Santos Laser Engraving said, "Phew, it's brass." Funny.
Oh, that's good. ETV says, I have no issue with X-Tool. Actually, they are my second choice when I get a laser. Only followed by Thunder. Very different lasers, but I get it. But I think X-Tool will be the first I get. Yeah, it depends what you want. Like Thunder, if you're looking for a bigger CO2 laser, Thunder lasers are, pretty solid. But I mean, as far as actual using a CO2 laser, I haven't seen the X-Tool P3, but the X-Tool P2S has the smallest beam I've ever seen on a CO2 laser. Like, it's rivaling diode lasers for size. Whereas my big CO2 laser, the beam size on that is like 1/3 of a millimeter. Like, it's pretty big.
Yeah, Kevin says he got an order this week for 400 slate coasters at $10 per set of 4. Good deal. That's exactly what I sell them for.
$10 a set. Yeah. It's a lot of work for $10 though.
Yeah, when you're mass producing them, of course, I've got a way to do it. But
yeah, well, yeah, you want to make a jig. AP laser, that's the one I was thinking.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, so really good AP laser, X-Tool, and one laser. Yeah. Oh, Nancy's in the building. She said, "Happy Hump Day, guys." Hello, Nancy. Thank you for dropping in. It's been a while.
We say that every time she drops in, which is quite frequent, actually. But
well, she used to join every single live, and now she's
but I don't know. She was working or something, and
yeah.
Well, Santa Laser Engraving's asking me. Figure I'll have a 3D printer next. So researching now. What is a filament that Hobby Lobby has started selling? I didn't know they were selling filament.
Yeah, they just started selling it. It's apparently like ultra cheap, but I haven't heard what the jury reads on that filament yet, whether it's bad filament or not. But they do sell it now. It's going to be rebranded from something else, right? It's probably Sunlu or
I hope it's not Amazon Basics Rejects, because that's
well, yeah, it's possible.
But for their market base, if it's a good quality, that's a good decision for them, because they have that foot traffic, I mean, hell, if Best Buy is selling 3D printers, why wouldn't they get into the consumables, right? If it's a good quality, I'm saying.
Okay, so Chris is asking this, Chris, should you mount the RFID tag on the outside of the spool? And I just taken the trash out earlier today. I don't have any empty spools down here I can pull a tag off of. But yes, I suppose you could if it was like glued on real well, because you don't want it flopping around out there if it's if it's in an AMS, it's going to snag.
Doesn't the RFID tag identify what the material is
Yeah.
as well? Because I'm sure I put a bamboo PET G in mine, and it popped up right away in the AMS.
And if you leave the spool in the same place in that AMS after it reads it, it'll pretty much tell you how much filament's left on.
Yeah, I get a level. I don't know if the original AMS does that, but the AMS Pro does. The AMS 2.
So has anyone
it shows me how much
bamboo...
is left. It doesn't show you in weight or feet or anything. It shows you just a relative.
Relative percentage.
Yeah, it's just a bar, and the top when it's either full or some gradient level down to 0.
So TJ asked, did anyone use a bamboo wood filament yet? If so, thoughts on it? I did run one spool. It's a little rough, I think, but that was when it first came out. I don't know if they made any improvements to it. Yeah, you have to sand it. It came out a little rough.
That's what happens when you put sawdust in plastic, I guess.
Yeah.
Grand River Makerspace. Yeah, that's the one. I saw somehow in my Facebook feed, I got a bunch of photos from somebody.
It said, Santa's Lady Group said, had a festival this past weekend. We were inside where the stage was at. The festival put me on a pageant and turned the lights off. I guess who was offered a tent light for the next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lantern. Jim says what lasers are you using for the 400 slate coasters? I guess that's directed at who had the order.
Well, I run my slate coasters on 2 different lasers. One of them's the X2S1. The other one's a Weekrey 845. That's what I do all my slate on.
Oh, here you go. Here's Chris said, Hobby Lobby sells from the same factory as Igloo use.
Elegoo?
Yeah. Okay. So
yeah. So it would be they have decent filament.
Yeah, Elegoo's filaments are okay.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. From marketing standpoint, it makes sense for them if they can actually have a reputable brand, because they're going to have that foot traffic, people going in.
But I know Sunlu second sources or supplies filament for everybody, right?
Right.
It's like any of the no name brand type filaments, they're all Sunlu.
That's funny.
Like I ordered some Sunlu orange, and I had some no name orange, and I held them up side by side, and they're exactly the same color. Like it's not like, because that every manufacturer has orange and they're all slightly different shade. This was exactly the same, and it was just it's coming from the same place.
Can I ask you a question, Steve, on the CNC? Do you use that touch probe, or do you use the whole put a piece of paper and set it down to?
Well, you'd hate to hear how I do it, but so I have just an aluminum plate over in the corner of my workspace.
Okay.
That the tool bit comes down to touch. You can get a spring-loaded one too, but I haven't had any problems like hammering a bit into the plate. And like you probably got the aluminum block.
So I have both, but I wasn't sure, like, why do you need both? Because can't you just set it down?
You don't. So when you turn on your laser, if you have the tool setter set up,
right,
it'll go over there and do a tool set when you turn the laser on. Well, when you unlock it, and then you can bring it over to wherever you want to start and zero. Now, for the most part, I eyeball it. I don't put paper under there. It's not really that precise, right? And if I go 1/10 of a millimeter into my wasteboard, well, that's what it's for. So I'll do the tool setter, then I'll go over and set the 0 location, X, Y, and Z, Z, and then I just push go. And every time you change tool bits, it'll go over and do the tool setter again to get the right height, and you never have to think about it.
Do you start your projects from the center, or do you start from like bottom left or right?
I do both. Depends on the project. Typically, if I'm doing something that's round, I'll start from the center, obviously. Just because you got this big hunk of material, you do a kind of a cross corner thing to find the center, and then it's going to fit. But if it's something square or like a cutting board or something, I'll start from the lower left corner, like the front left corner.
Okay, good to know. ATV Marketing said, not slamming Sony. I have Sony. I just have bad experience with their cameras, and I own 3. I really gave them a chance.
Well, you can send those to me because I don't mind Sony cameras. So Sony like if it's like a video camera, Sony cameras have like a billion settings, and you have to fiddle around to get the right settings. Like even mine right now, I find it's a little dark still. Like I look at you two guys, and it's dark I'm dark compared to you two guys. But so there's still, I could do a little more tweaking, but I usually fix it in editing when I do videos, so it's not that big a deal. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of settings you got to play around with on a Sony camera.
How's that saying go? Shame on you the first time, shame on me the second time. It's not supposed to be a third time.
Yeah, I mean, they're regular cameras like the ZF50s or whatever they are. I think that's what they are. They're okay cameras. I mean, tons of YouTubers use those for video.
Yes.
And the settings are all the same on those. They use generally the same kinds of settings. But you can play with automatic white balance versus actually doing white balance, and there's like 18 different settings for that. Like it just takes a long time to get them set up.
It's the same thing with Panasonic too. I run the GH series. That's the cameras I have for all the videos I shoot. And they've got like just a ton of settings, and it's so easy, especially when you're setting up. If I'm setting up one of the GH cameras to use when we're doing the live stream, I have to drop it down to 1080p. Well, then when I go back to 4K, if I don't hit the right 4K setting on there, then it records something that I can't even use.
Yeah.
So I've done that a couple times.
Yeah, I don't even record on the camera. My camera is really just a camera. Like it's just a video capture, and I feed it over to my video recorder. But what happens as a result of that is when you turn that mode on in a Sony camera, it turns off a whole bunch of things that don't make sense, and you can't turn them back on. And it's like, why can't I use that feature? Oh, it's because I'm just using a camera. And they don't make sense, a lot of them. So that's my one frustration. But
yeah. Abe said, sorry, I should have explained better. Just so you're aware, we got pretty thick skin. It's going to take a little more than that to rub us the wrong way.
Oh, no, I wasn't saying, I'm pissed off because you hate Sony cameras. It's just I didn't understand if you were beating on it or whether you were applauding it in light of something else.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It just, they work. Well, mine works, I'll say. I have 2 of them, and they have good lenses in them, though. That's the one thing I like, is they still use like Carl Zeiss lenses, and of course the lens costs more than most cameras, but
yeah, no kidding. I bought my wife a Canon. She don't have a
I've got like 4 Canon bodies.
Yeah,
when I was doing photography, which I haven't done for a long time.
Ordinary Woodworker said, bought a spool of filament from Hobby Lobby yesterday to test it out of my bamboo. So you can't say that without saying how it worked. Okay, so cool. And how'd it go?
Yeah, it's just like dangling this carrot in front of you.
I'm curious, since he did buy a spool, are they on cardboard spools or plastic spools? is you don't want to put a cardboard spool in an AMS.
All right, we're waiting. We're waiting.
I got a cardboard spool running in my AMS2, which seems to work okay.
And why would you not want to do that, Roger?
They're
The
dusty.
dust that builds up from the cardboard edges, it just messes up a regular AMS. I don't have the AMS2 yet, so that'll be on when I get another printer. I'll probably get the H2D.
Yeah, if you're doing anything that involves multicolor or supports with different material or something, the H2D is the one to get.
And while we're on the subject here of 3D printing, I showed these guys this before we went live. Yeah, everybody gets a failed print. So I came down tonight to turn cameras on. Look what I found on one of my printers.
It almost like doesn't even make sense. Like, what the heck was it doing?
It's melting.
Yeah.
I had spaghetti everywhere, and that doesn't show all the mess.
Don't you have spaghetti detection on that printer?
That's a Creality printer. They don't have.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's actual settings, spaghetti detection.
You should log a Creality support request on that one.
Yeah.
He's ABT Mark said, I don't think I've ever owned anything Panasonic, although I did own a Zenith TV and an RCA TV. I had an RCA TV at 2 different points. Did it go click, 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 click?
Maybe he's not that old.
I had one of those too, right? With the little, you got to turn the thing.
Now, when I was growing up, if my dad wanted to change the channel, I was a remote control. I had to go over and go click, 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 click.
Well, when I lived in Canada, we only had like 3 channels, so that wasn't a big deal.
Well, that's because you lived in nowhere in Canada.
It was just click, click. It wasn't like.
Yeah. Do you want channel 2 or channel 7?
Yeah, the other third option is just real fuzzy, but it sounded good. It's like the 50s watching cartoons.
We had when I was a kid, we had one of the original remote controls that actually clicked.
Yeah.
And it was basically a little hammer on a tuned bar, right? And we discovered fairly quickly that you could take your keys and rattle them in front of the television, and it would do all manner of weird things.
That's crazy. Ordinary Woodworker said, Sony, I have not had time to test it out. We'll plan too soon. Oh, sorry. I've not had time to test it out yet. Plan too soon. Yeah, let us know. You baited us with that.
That's your homework assignment for next week.
Yeah.
Or post it in a Facebook group. Those, if you are, it looks like for the most part, people in the live are our regulars, but if you're not, make sure you join our Facebook group. If you go to www.shoptalklive.club, it is not a website. It is our Facebook. It's just an auto forward. So we don't have this big long URL you have to remember. So Shop Talk Live, you already know the name, .club. And this is not Steve's page, my page, Roger's page. It's Shop Talk Live. And I'm saying that because you're not like competing with us posting anything. If you're an influencer, a YouTuber, a maker, post your stuff up. We're all excited to share.
Yeah, if you got some failures, post those too. Everybody likes to see failures.
Yes.
I still haven't had a bamboo failure. My printer's been going pretty much 24/7 for the last week, 2 weeks.
I can say with all the, I've got 5 bamboo printers. I've only had one failure on one of those printers.
So how many on the Creality?
Oh, hell, I couldn't tell you. Over the years, they're bed slingers, and they don't have the bed detection. And, one of the nice things about especially these X1Cs is the spaghetti detection. If it detects if things are going awry, it'll stop the printer, and it'll send you a thing on your phone. Say, hey, your printer's jacked up. Not in those words, but you need to go look at it.
So those who are not aware, Roger is very fond of Creality printers. He's just upset they won't sponsor.
He loves them. Surprised he doesn't have his banner in behind him there.
I only have one Creality left, and after that failure tonight, one of the grandkids is going to be getting that one, and there may be another bamboo printer sitting over there.
I gave my Creality printer to a buddy of mine. He likes it. Although he's got a print he wants to send me because it doesn't print properly on the Creality. I'm not sure why.
So I saw someone print this big giant, like Roman looking helmet, but it looked copper.
Yeah, it's just
Yep.
copper-colored filament.
Yep.
But it looked like copper. Like
Yeah.
I was
Well, it
like,
could have
wow.
been.
No, he did on a 3D printer. But what I'm saying
Yeah,
is,
but
like,
he
I was
could have,
surprised.
then zinc sprayed it and then electroplated it with copper.
No, he didn't. He was saying that was
Oh,
straight up
then he just
filament.
got copper filament.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it looked pretty damn good. I was really surprised. I was like, wow, like it looked pretty good.
Some of the stuff you can make out of the marble filament is just, it comes out phenomenal, and it looks like real marble. It's just phenomenal the way it comes out. If you print
Yeah.
a real high resolution so you don't see the layer lines, it's just phenomenal how well they look.
Santa's Laser
Plus
Engraving said
the pattern texture hides a lot of lies, right?
Yeah.
So
Sanders Living Grade said, "You guys need some Jeopardy music while we wait." There you go. There you
Yeah,
go,
Chris.
Steve.
Chris said he had a 6-foot dowel that was the remote. Oh, his television, big stick. Then upgraded to a corded remote. Yeah, I remember corded remotes too.
Yeah, we had one of them. Remember?
It was always good. You could trip your brother or sister on the way by. Just lift the cord up just as they're walking by.
All right, Steve.
Just did the last one. Anyway, Alan says,
CNC
I was talking to Alan actually. Any suggestions for a tramming tool for CNC, or do you do it another way?
What's tram?
All I've ever done to tram is take a tool bit, like a 1/4-inch bit, and press it into a piece of wood so that it's nice and square, like a long skinny piece. And then you can rotate it around the axis of the spindle, like put it in the spindle, and you can tram that way. It gets you good enough. Oh, like when your spindle is mounted on your CNC, it can be skewed a bit.
Oh.
So like if you try and engrave or try and do a tool path that's a big flat area and you see lines.
Oh yeah,
then odds are good your tool bit is not, or your spindle isn't trammed properly. It's something you should do. It just saves a lot of sanding down the road to get those lines out of there.
Yeah. Ready? We said, Chris, you get a TV reception in the Outback.
Yeah, 24 hours of Skippy the bush kangaroo.
Yes, but lag is terrible.
I'm waiting I'm waiting for Chris to come back and complain about Skippy. It was Skippy. I used to watch it as a kid, and it was basically Flipper in the desert, in the Outback.
It just seems like everything in Australia can kill you. Everything's dangerous, right? It's like a freak nature's out there. Sanders Laser Engraving said, "Put my failure on the brass coin out today on the laser community earlier, and try and suggest the suggestions now. It's what all about." I didn't
absolutely.
I didn't see it. I'm so bad at social media though.
Bring it up. Share it, Steve.
Well, I was just gonna go look for it.
We don't mean to put you on blast, brother. Maybe we'll be able to get you some pointers. How about that?
I haven't seen it because I've been basically driving all day.
All right, Roger.
ATBs, how many 3D printers do I have? How many of each, and brands? I have Anycubic Cobra S1 sitting right over here. I've got the Anycubic Max. It's out in our loft. And then down here I have two Bamboo A1s and two Bamboo X1 Carbons, Bamboo P1S, piece of crap Creality Ender 3 V3. And then up in our in the loft out there, I have 4 other 3D printers of just various brands. I think one of them's a longer, and one of them's like just generic no name. They're old bed slingers. I don't really use them anymore. But our production ones are mainly what's right down here. Oh, and then of course the big Cobra. I don't have room for it down here. I'd put it in the loft.
So as you can all tell, his favorite is the Creality. If you don't know by now.
Yeah, front and center.
Yeah, my favorite one to bitch about.
Sanders Liver Grave said, "How about a motorized antenna?" We're talking old school. We just went out and turned by hand. Yeah.
Yeah, the rotor.
Yep. It had them
You
in
had the little
attic.
box on top of your television to turn it.
Yeah.
Which
Right.
I also remember putting aluminum foil on the rabbit ears.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how many of you adapted your TV before when they only had the antenna inputs, and then you had to have the screw-in coax? Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because they didn't. You still had that TV.
No. I just use IPTV now. It's got like 8,000 channels, and there's still nothing on, but I have all these channels. Ordinary Woodworker says, "What's your opinion of the Bamboo H2 series?" He was eyeing the H2S as his next printer. I just bought the H2D, and it is by far the best 3D printer I've seen.
And why would you say that?
Every print that comes off of it looks like it was injection molded. And like I had my first print where the first layer wasn't absolutely perfect. It had a little blip in it, and I think it was because the bed was not clean. Because I reprinted it and it was fine. So there's just so much you don't have to worry about. Like, I remember using, Creality printers, for example, but any sufficiently old 3D printer where you had to cut the filament at like a 45-degree angle so it didn't jam in the extruder on the way in. I don't have to think about that. So I don't even have to think about loading filament, right? I got 8 rolls of filament sitting up above my printer in AMS, and it just automatically loads when it starts, and then it unloads when it's done. So it's like there's just so much that's taken out of the way.
Yeah, the bed leveling. There's no bed leveling anymore. It's all automatic.
Yeah. So it's just easy is the answer, right? Now the H2S is the single head version. If you want to do multicolor on a regular basis, I would say save up some extra money and get the H2D, but it is a lot more money. It's like $1,000 more or something. I debated actually getting the H2S because I was cheap, but I sprung for the D. And I have no regrets, especially if you do printing where you have supports that are different material, like if you're doing PETG and you have PLA supports or something, that would be virtually impossible on an H2S. Like it's possible, but you become an old person waiting for it to print.
Well, that you end up with a lot of poop.
Yeah.
Because it has to purge the head after every change. And I did that only once on an X1C, and no, I don't do it that way anymore.
I like these videos where they show, the person prints something and they go, "Here's my print," and then they show this big bag of refuse that got injected out the back of the printer. It's like, okay, you've crossed the line there.
Yeah.
Anyway, to answer the question, I would buy another. In fact, I may actually buy another H2D.
Nice.
Not that I want to print farm. It's just.
So is it true that you're going to start selling your own bobbleheads?
Like a bobblehead of me?
Yeah.
Maybe. I pretty much do that anyway.
Chris said Skippy was filmed about 10 miles from where I was living at the time. There you go, Steve.
There you go.
Hey, Tony. Thank you for stopping by.
I still remember the theme song. I'm not going to sing it, but.
Oh, I can relate to this one because just yesterday morning, I was going through this big drawer of VHS tapes we have, and we got as far as movies, we got rid, like the movies, but we got rid of them years ago. This is all stuff that we shot on video cameras back when my kids were young, and it's all on this VHS, and I'm trying to find a VCR, and I have 3 of them that worked yet. so I could transfer, and pull the video off of that and put it on a DVD or something like that.
Bring it to Walgreens, Roger. It's like $11.
Yeah, but I gotta
cheaper than having a VCR.
I have to screen everything that's in there though to make sure it's proper.
You don't want some old 70s movies? Oh, Shika Wow Wow. Yeah. I have my wife's like, why don't you throw this away? And I couldn't. Because I have the entire collection of the Little Rascals, the original Little Rascals on VHF, because that was my favorite show as a kid. And obviously I said in grade school where we lived, there was not very many channels and stuff. So I watched a lot of tapes.
What, the Little Rascals?
I loved the Little Rascals when I was a kid. You watch them as an adult, you realize like how racist that show was.
Oh yeah. Totally, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was recorded in the 30s, right?
Right.
So there was, it was a different time.
Yeah. But as a kid, I didn't even think anything of it bad, But as an adult, you're like, wow, that would not fly on TV today,
All the old cartoons were in the end, they were pretty bad.
Yeah. Laser Sand Engraving said, I just checked to make sure the failure is on your Facebook page. All right.
I never saw it.
Let's take a look.
I see Santa in a Santa suit.
I see it.
The before and after.
I see it. Hold on. I'll share it. You guys see it?
Yeah.
Yep.
If I do this, does it make it bigger?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So it looks to me like you just didn't do enough layers.
Yeah. I don't know how many passes that was, but it could be more.
Yeah, that's all. I don't think you did anything wrong. I just think you stopped it too soon.
Well, it says 256 passes.
Oh wow! Then the power.
20% frequency.
How many watt is your laser?
It's a Monport G30.
Okay.
GI30.
Okay, then
30
cool.
watt. Yeah, 30 watt. You're gonna probably.
Well, I tell you what. I have a 30 watt, and I wrote down all my settings. So I'll look what I wrote down in my book, because I use primarily my 60 watt for my challenge coins, but I started on the 30 watt. And that'll give you a good somewhere to start. I'll post on the Facebook post what I was using on the 30 watt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think your settings are just either going way too fast or your settings are way too low.
Frequency sounds a little bit low to me.
Yeah.
The Q pulse is probably it's probably a little large. Probably on a frequency like 60 or something.
Yeah.
We're working through. Go ahead, Roger.
Working through the in-laws' house after they passed away, we found the old video discs that came. Wow, video discs they were actually after or during the VHS, VCR beta wars. The video discs came out. The laser discs.
Before CD-ROMs.
Yeah. But what I have here, and I just wanted to grab this guy. I remember it was sitting down here, is a Dazzle DVD recorder. So you plug this into your VCR, and then you plug the other end into a DVD recorder or your computer to take it to a SSD, and that's exactly what I'm going to use. And I know this works. I used it years ago.
Yeah, I had one too. It was gray though. Exact same brand. It's funny. Jim said, since I know nothing about 3D printing, what are you making with them, and where are you getting your inspiration from?
Well, so most of what I'm making right now is from necessity. I'm making a bunch of multi-board or open grid board to hang things on because my shop is always disorganized. So That's the first thing.
I make a wide range of things. Mostly are laser accessories, laser mounts, laser risers. Um, just happen to have some of these here sitting on the desk. These are, for cable management. Keep your cable from getting down into your work. And then I've got, we do, riser. This is like a 25 millimeter riser for a longer B1. And we've got risers for this one would be for a tour because every laser is different. So I have all these riser sets and they go together kind of like Lego blocks. So that's our major thing. I also make lizards. I make lots of lizards. These guys here.
These things apparently are selling at craft
Yes,
fairs.
every single event I go to, they're selling them.
How long does it take to print that?
6 hours.
Whoa!
Do you sell these for like $100?
Okay, let me get back to that though. It takes 6 hours on that Reality printer. I can do it in 4 hours on a bamboo.
So how much you sell it for?
They're $10.
So you gotta be using $10 worth of electricity.
Are you going with the concept that it's an idle printer is making no money, so make something better than nothing?
Well, my granddaughter pays me $10 for them, and I don't know what she sells it for. I'm not sure it's higher. So I buy my filament in large bulk too, so I get a deal of my filament. The other thing I make, and it's hard to show this here without actually having a roll of toilet paper, but I make these.
Okay, be careful.
Everybody has to have a spare roll of toilet paper in their bathroom. At least you better, or you're gonna wish you did at some point.
Come on, without a shot.
You set the toilet paper roll on this, then you put this in the end of it, and you can do a moose, you can do a snowman, you can do a reindeer, you can do a horse.
What kind of? What the heck? How did you even? Did
Now, you think it sounds crazy? The first batch of those I made, I took down just to kind of see the thought on them. I said, what do you want from them? I said, $20. I was out of them in like 10 minutes.
That's hilarious.
Oh, yeah, it comes up with some weird stuff. Of course, then I do coasters. Of course.
I was at a fest in St. Charles, Roger, and I saw someone selling those snakes. I think they were selling for $25.
Yeah.
And they had tons of them, all different colors. And there was a line of people waiting to get in there.
Yeah, and I crank them out. I mean, set one up, 2-3 times a day and just walk away. I don't, of course, still I end up with a ruined one. But
yeah,
that's not normal. I have probably printed 50 of those on that particular printer and never had a failure.
Wow.
So I don't know what happened with that one.
So Rick, you walked in that booth and he was looking all over everything 3D printing. I told my wife, if I ever buy a 3D printer, this boy is never going to have it not printing.
Well, the other thing I make, and I think Steve has done this too, if you need a part for something and you know how to model, you can make your own. And my biggest thing has been with dust collection because every company, especially like with shop vacs and dust collectors, everybody's got their own damn size they want to use. So I make adapters. Yeah, stuff like that. That's 3D printed.
Those tool changers, by the way, Rick, those things are 3D printed.
These are nice though.
Yeah, the magnets.
Yeah. I like that.
I printed for my printer. I printed I put my 3D printer on a wheeled cart, custom made cart, and I printed a poop chute to go down underneath the cart to dump it into a can below the laser. So that was one of the things I did just recently because I hated the little balls of plastic flying out on the floor in my shop.
So we didn't ask, where do you get inspiration from? We didn't answer that question.
Well, that one, I can either clean the shop or I can print a tube to pipe this stuff down into a can.
Yeah, you come up with ideas all the time. I like that. Well, hell, I can make that.
Yeah, so, I printed with multi-board. I printed just a board for the side of my cart where I have all the tools hanging.
So what are your thoughts about downloading printable files and selling them?
No, I do not sell the files.
Yeah,
I have downloaded. I mean, like these lizards. I did not design those,
Right.
but I can make all I want to sell as long as I
Yeah.
don't sell the STL.
Like I've
Right.
done all these brackets for studio racks and things. So like I've got all kinds of 3D printed stuff in here. My microphone is held on with a 3D printed clamp.
And those are all downloaded files, Steve?
Nope. I don't. The only thing is I ever download are like test prints for things like benchies and stuff. Well, that's not true. The multi-board stuff I've been downloading a lot just because I'm too
Now,
lazy.
if you ever go down the Gridfinity rabbit hole, like
I did some Gridfinity stuff last week to clean up one of my drawers in my shop desk.
Nancy said, when I was a kid, my brother had to get on the roof and wiggle the antenna while we screened from the inside of the house so the picture was clear.
The picture's
or one
good.
of us would have to hold the antenna on the TV. Yeah, that was funny, right? Like if you touched it, it would be better. Like, no, just.
Don't move. Just stand there.
Yeah. Says you were like the ground, so it's making it come better, right?
You had to hold your hand out.
Yeah, Chris says he migrated a lot of VHS to CD and then DVD and then Blu-ray to SSD. And I think I'm probably going to go straight to SSD.
Yeah.
It's all in my head because
You been silly boy?
I only have in my head because I don't have a shirt.
Oh, 8 tracks here. So I don't remember what was before VCRs or 8 tracks. But Dad had 8 tracks from the cassette and boombox era. So yeah, 8 tracks preceded VCRs by a long shot because they had 8 tracks in the 70s. Because I had them in my car.
Yeah, everybody did.
Yeah,
my father had the big box of 8-track tapes in the back seat all the time.
It wasn't a beta before VCR. It was only one reel instead of 2.
Beta and VHS were like competing with these Betamax.
Yeah.
And
Sony built both formats, and they basically licensed the VHS, but kept beta to themselves, and because of that, nobody used it, so it died. Right, which is too bad because beta was a better format than VHS.
I remember when the whole HD versus Blu-ray came out, right? And I bought an HD player. My wife's like, "Why are you buying an HD player versus Blu-ray?" I'm like, "It's HD. Doesn't that make more sense?" Yeah, I guess not.
Not anymore.
No, Blu-ray was the way to go. So.
Yeah, well, they said that Blu-ray got the contract for the porn industry, and that was it. They literally like packed up and said, like, "That's it."
What the heck?
No, stop.
The problem is, by the time Blu-ray became a thing, people were already streaming, right? So Blu-ray didn't really hang around too long.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still there, but no one uses it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no use it.
Now my teenage years.
VHS Betamax. That's what it was called.
Betamax.
Yeah. Pretty much the first recording domestic market. Yeah.
My first video camera was like the size of a suitcase, and the battery pack you had to wear on this big belt. You put this giant thing on your arm. Yeah, and then it held a full-size VHS tape in it. Yeah, if you make it, they'll buy it.
Nancy says, unless they are Steve's coasters.
Yeah. If you ever get one of my coasters, it's a collector's item because there aren't very many of them. I sign everyone individually.
or Steve's cigar cases.
Yeah,
well, dart cases. Dart cases.
I still have some. Andrew, who's not on tonight, he took one. He was actually over today. He bought my I no longer have a D1 Pro 40 watt hanging on the wall. He took it today.
What filament do I use for vac adapters? PET-G.
Yep. Or ABS.
Yeah, or ABS. I don't like print with ABS. I don't do it in the house. If I'm going to print with ABS, I'll do it out in the loft where I've got a fan. Yep, had a huge box of 8 tracks in the car. Yeah.
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 My father used to have like eight or nine 8-tracks of like Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass. It's like, oh my god, this is why I turned out like I did.
Chris said Betamax was technically superior to VHF, but dear.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of guys in the older cars. They take the old AM only 8-track radios and they send them out to get refurbished. And they add FM, and now they just have a little tiny dot on the screen, and that means it's FM. So when they change the radio stations, but then the car still has the original stereo in it. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. The like 8-tracks, like 8-track tapes. If you find a bunch at a yard sale or something, they're worth money now.
Yeah.
Because there are
Yeah,
people who do car restorations, right? And
yep,
it was a perfect car format.
Yeah, you have a 72 Cutlass. You want something from 72 playing in the car show, right?
Yeah.
The ATV marketer says quickly becoming the electronics appliance channel ever since my issue with the microwave and the remote. This has affected all of us.
We went down a rabbit hole. So if anyone has any non-appliance questions, related questions, please let us know. At the end of the day, this is a live question and answers. We don't know any direction the live goes in. You guys steer it, really.
We could laser engrave some 8-track tapes if you want.
We're kind of going down the technology history here. You think back 20 years ago, we couldn't have done this.
Yeah, no kidding.
It was impossible.
You know what I've been seeing a lot lately is people 3D printing floppy disks as coasters.
Jeez.
How many young people know what the hell a floppy disk is?
Yeah, that's because whenever you have a Gen Y or Gen Z type person visiting you for a drink, they look at this thing and go, "What is this?" I probably still have a box of original discs.
Well, they might think if you push on it, it'll save it. That's a little icon, that's still.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Like, yeah, people understand what that icon is, but they don't actually know what that icon represents.
Oh, the save icon, right?
Yeah, yes.
Where that originated from.
It's just such a bad icon for generational understanding, right? Because who knows what it is, right? They look at it and go, "Oh, it's the square thing."
That's exactly what Chris said. The floppy disk, the millennial save icon.
Yeah.
Yeah, whip out one of them old 5 1/4 floppy disks. That'll really blow somebody away.
Yeah.
I probably still have some of those too.
Yeah. Roger still has the Oregon Trail on the 3/4.
Old Yeller.
Hey, Oregon Trail was awesome, man. I don't care what you guys say.
Yeah, without old technology, there could not be new and improved technology. That's absolutely true.
Yeah. Yeah, the old technology taught you what really sucks, so you can go and invent something better.
Well, if you believe we went to the moon, they say the computers there, our calculators had more computing power now than the whole entire computer system.
Your phone definitely has like 100 times more capacity than all of the compute power used to launch an Apollo mission.
So has anyone ordered this new, speaking of technology, iPhone 17? I ordered one, and now I'm just seeing everyone saying like that was dumb, like all these problems with it. So we'll see if I have the iPhone 17.
Oh, yeah. Well, people are talking about them scratching.
Yeah, and cracking and.
Yeah, it's because they replaced the titanium case with aluminum.
So I have the 15 Pro, and I think I paid $900 for it. And the 17 Pro was $1,900.
Yeah,
it's like, damn, talk about.
It's got to be tariffs.
I was like, that is nuts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got a Samsung S23. I'm an Android person. I'm perfectly happy with it.
Yeah. I was an Android guy until COVID, and then all the chip shortages, and then you couldn't find Android with a high storage capacity.
I don't know. I only had an Android phone for about 3 months and said, "That's it. I'm selling this." It was just
Ordinary worker said my first warehouse job was saving to a data 8-inch floppy disk.
Yeah, that's the
Yep.
big ones that went round and round.
Yeah,
Yep.
but they were big, right? They were a floppy disk, but they were 8 inches.
So one of my first jobs when I started as a CIS major, doing COBOL, and you'd save everything to these magnetic reels, right?
Yeah, streaming tape.
Yep,
Eight,
that was
8-track
crazy.
tape or 9-track tape.
Yep, that was crazy. You write a code and save it to it, then bring it out and put it on another computer, and that would run the program off it. You'd have to label it.
Yeah.
That was like
Good old IBM technology.
yeah, so funny. Chris said the argument was using old tech, they knew all the bugs.
Well, yeah.
Mostly you found them out the hard way.
All right, Roger.
Yeah, so Nancy says she's an Android girl. Got the Samsung S22 Ultra. The reason I have the S23 is because my S22 suddenly expanded one time when it was charging. I took it back. Our service through T-Mobile. I took it back and go, hey, I don't think it's supposed to do this. He looks at it. He goes, no. He says, here's a new S23. I said, well, can you like transfer my stuff to it? Yeah. He did do that though.
So I had bought that new Samsung phone, the one they actually showed it under the sink when it was running. You seen that commercial?
Yeah.
They like turned the sink on, they stuck it under it, and it was running. They're like, won't ruin it, blah 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 blah. I have T-Mobile and I'm working on a T-Mobile network. It starts drizzling, and I open up my phone to call in because I'm going to open the cabinet because of alarm, and it ruins my phone. So I call him like, how the hell do you guys have a commercial where you can stick it under the sink, and it drizzled on my phone and ruined it? So make a long story short, when the chip shortage came, they decided not to make the phone. And I bought the phone the week it came out. So they told me to keep the phone, gave me my money back because they couldn't replace the phone. So I technically have a phone that doesn't exist. Like, it's not on Samsung's website because it's the 1 terabyte. And they only had like a 256 of that phone. It's kind of crazy. Santa's Ladies Engraving says, some of us watched the computer be invented. Technology was to the point you could CNC program. What we now sit and talk about tonight is crazy. Yeah, technology is nuts. You know what?
Yep.
Just the kids, how smart they are with computers. You know, I remember when I was a kid, there was only one kid, Randy. He was the only kid in our whole neighborhood who had a computer. You know, it was like one kid in the whole neighborhood. You know, yeah. Now everybody has one.
There were no computers when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I remember when my father got his first calculator, though. Like a just simple 4-banger, right? Like add, subtract, multiply, divide. And it was like, don't touch it.
Yeah. This is what Matthew Broderick used in that movie War Games. Do you want to play a game?
Yeah, I've actually been looking for one of those, one of the computers, one of those old ones.
Nice.
Just as a conversation piece. But they all end up being so much money now. Like people have gone crazy with them, thinking they're actual collector's items.
Well, even things like the Commodore 64, they're trying to sell for crazy money,
Well, they're remaking it, right? So like you can get a remade Commodore 64.
Well, even the original Casio watch with the calculator on it.
Yeah,
those originals.
I got one.
Yeah, they sell for like a decent amount. Like the originals. Like that's so crazy.
I still have one.
Yeah.
Had it since I was in grade 9 or something.
Chris said, it's scary when tech is going to develop. It's going to race faster and faster. AI is going to change things drastically. I can't even imagine the things we're going to have in 10 years.
Well, as long as AI doesn't take out the power grid before building all those LLM models is taking up a lot of power.
Santa's Living Grave said, we played outside back then. I will agree, man. These kids.
Kids don't play outside anymore.
Yeah. Nancy said, just make me feel old and realize how spoiled today's generation are. Radu said all the computers when I was a kid had an eraser on one end.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got one of them sitting right over here.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's also doubled as a cassette tape rewinder. Or if the
ABC
tape
Marks-
came out, to get the tape back in the cassette.
Who remembers Taddy computers?
Tandy.
Actually,
Well,
bought it.
Radio Shack. It was Radio Shack
Yeah,
before Tandy.
Tandy.
Okay. I actually bought a pre-owned one. There you go. Yeah, I guess a lot of people are remembering those. Funny. Taddy
Yeah.
equals King's Quest.
King's
No.
Quest. Yeah, that was a good game. Games
Yeah.
were very different back in those days.
Yeah.
Things like Zork, you had to actually read.
Yeah. I remember my
Yep.
first game system was a ColecoVision. You guys remember that?
Yep. It's probably a collector's item now too,
The big
Especially
giant
if you-
buttons on it, numbers.
if you have it in a box.
Yeah, I love that game. AI is starting to spam AI to AI. How much will it slow the internet? There's been a lot of talk about that actually.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, this is the new challenge, right? Because they're training AI models, but they're using existing AI. Well, they're using existing data trained by other AI engines to learn, and they're wrong, right? So you got generations of incorrect information accruing, and it's just going to be a mess.
Yeah, because just like the old saying, "Oh, you read on the internet" means it's true. Like that's literally going to become
Yeah.
more of a thing, right?
Yeah. And I mean,
So-
you start like a conversation with something like Copilot or ChatGPT, and you will ask questions and it will give you answers that you absolutely know are incorrect, but it will argue with you that it's right information. It's like, no, it's not. So this is where we're headed, unfortunately.
ABT
Hey,
Market
what's
says,
this one?
Oh.
The TRS-80.
Oh yeah, the one before that was about who remembers Atari. Absolutely.
Yeah, I had
Well-
I had a oh, well, it's gone now. Oh, that was the one Rick just went to.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
I had one of
I
those.
had a as a kid, the very first generation of the Atari 2600,
Yeah, me too.
and it
With the
was
big
so
knob.
cool. Yeah,
It was brown,
the joysticks and the,
Yeah, it was brown, had the big switches, like
Yep.
switches on top.
yeah, it was so cool.
You had to tune your TV to channel 3 and connect it on the back, and
Yeah,
And I had it before when I had the Coleco version. When Atari came out, they made an adapter you can click into the front of the ColecoVision and play Atari games. And then later on, I got Atari 2600, and I thought it was so
yeah.
cool.
Well, we were all hackers, so we made printed circuit boards that you could put a ROM into, and we had like ROM programmers. So the first time somebody got a new game, you'd tear the thing apart and clone it for all your friends, right? We all had 0 insertion force sockets on these things, and a whole piece of black foam with all the ROMs with all the games on it. So
That's hilarious. We did that with our.
an EEPROM was only like $3, and a game was 60, right? So
Right. Fun times, fun times. Chris said all the old Hitchhiker guide. Text
Hitchhiker's
version?
Guide to the Galaxy, yeah,
Oh yeah.
the text version. It's another Zork variant.
Tim said, "Oh wow, Chris spent thousands of hours playing that game." Atari was my Nintendo back in the day. Yes.
Yep.
That was the original blow in the cartridge.
Ataris worked great all the time.
No, the Nintendo. You'd always
Yeah,
have to do that.
yeah, you had to blow into the cartridge.
Yeah,
was that
Yeah,
Nintendo
and they don't
or
overheat. Tony said my first calculator was a slide rule.
as was mine because they didn't have calculators in the 60s.
my father was an engineer, so he used a slide rule, and he taught me how to use it as a kid.
Sanders Labor Great said Pitfall was awesome.
Pitfall.
I liked Qbert. You guys remember
What
that
happened
game?
to lasers? So we've got to be some laser questions. You people are going too far down
Space
memory lane.
Invaders song. We're reminiscing on where we were kids.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Anybody have any laser, CNC, 3D printer related questions? We're here to answer. But it's
Here,
definitely
Red
nice
has put up,
program.
and I do remember this. The early Atari had these film screens that were kind of like clear, and you put them on your TV screen.
Yeah.
So when you're doing the shooting, it looked more realistic.
Yeah.
I remember my parents would not let me use the living room TV because they said it was going to ruin this. It was going to burn the image into the screen. So I had to buy me this like cheap TV that I can only play the game on.
Black and white.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, okay. Oh, sorry.
Chris says he's not old, but his first calculator was a pile of rocks. Do things a little bit differently in Australia. There we go. Tim's got a question talking about G sender or universal UGS. I guess it's called universal G code sender. That's the question. Which one do you use? He asked me this question, and I guess he didn't like my answer because I said I use G sender when I use a laser or a CNC that doesn't automatically accept G code, but
I guess that's the advantage of ours, right? You don't have to send anything.
Yeah, you just generate G code and shove it up there, right, on a USB stick, or do you have the Masso file mover thing? Yeah.
See, because of the, I have on the low end of the stick here on CNCs, I use Uggs. I mean, I have to. There's no other way.
Well, I used to, and then the CNC Lab guys came out with G Sender, which has a lot of really nice features, including things like alignment, so checking the square of your CNC, and so like it's still actively in development. UGS is basically end of life, right? It's just they're not working on it anymore. So.
ADVT says, Mark, I still remember Atari. I have the simulator, and I loaded some of the games. And other than Pac-Man, I'm like, these are pretty lame. I don't know how I liked it.
You didn't like Tank Pong?
I mean, I loved them as a kid, but I'm just like, this is pretty lame games, man.
Well, you got to think about the difference between graphics today on a computer versus graphics then, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they had like 64 by 128 pixel graphics for the whole screen, right? You've got, 4K graphics on a typical machine now.
Now, if you take a game like, let's say, Tetris, that was originally written for like a Pentium, not even a Pentium, but a 386, and you put them in one of the modern computers, them bricks drop so fast you're not gonna move. You just can't slow them down.
Someone told me that Tetris was invented by, and I don't know if this is true, the Air Force. It was for fighter pilots. I don't know if that's true, but someone told me that a long time ago.
That was
sounds like a good urban legend.
Oh, that was an addictive game though. Back when I was playing that.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, I loved it.
So
Miss Pac-Man and Tetris were one of my favorite.
Did
games.
you send Santa your settings?
No. I will. I've not.
Yeah, well, yeah. So slower speeds, more passes. I don't have a 30-watt fiber, so I don't really have good settings for it. But
I have it, and I actually provided them to the manufacturer. So when I was doing testing, so I printed it out.
Yeah.
I have it. I'll look. I definitely have it in a book, so I'll send it to you. Don't worry. Chris said I use both G Center and Uggs.
Yeah, I guess the question is, which one do you like better? Hey, Clack.
Clack is in the building.
Yeah, there you go. Clack is he's in my camp, G Sender guy.
G Sender I use motion on my Shapoko due to the bit sender.
Yeah. Jim says Steve is aware that I'm having disconnect between my laser and Lightburn. Yeah, Lightburn 2, I think, is dropping connections on occasion. And Jim's been running into some problems.
The only time I have that is because my computer will be on for like a long, extended period of time. And I just reboot my computer. I never have a problem after that. But I literally had like, I'm doing coins. So I'm doing like a huge batch. And it'll just like hang. Like,
I've seen this too with Lightburn 2. Jim, if you still have Lightburn 1.7, just try it and see if it works. Like you can install 2 different copies of Lightburn. And just see if it's better, because you're not using any of the miracle features that are in Lightburn 2 anyway.
yeah.
And see if it's a little more stable.
The other thing that's stupid is make sure your power management is disabled, so it's not an issue with your USBs.
Yeah, you don't want your computer going to sleep. That's a disaster.
Well, it can go into energy save mode, and you start getting packet loss.
Yeah, I don't do. I make sure that's all turned off, especially when I'm running. Just like I said, we do a lot of sublimations, and I'll set my sublimation printer up to print all night.
Right.
For one of the computers up there, and I got to make sure that thing stays just dead on all the time. But the UPS on it too.
Yep.
So Tim is doing cribbage boards, and he's asking if you should use an upcut or a downcut bit. I use an upcut bit for those kinds of things. You use the drill pattern, and I mean, you can actually use a drill bit if you don't turn it too fast in your spindle. But an upcut bit seems to work best. Like downcut, you're trying to shove all the chips down the hole in front of the bit. And
right. So the advantage of wanting to use a downcut bit was so you wouldn't have like fuzzies at the top, right? But then
yeah, but you're not.
But then,
I mean,
realistically, you're doing exactly what you're saying. Right.
Yeah.
It's not a fine piece of furniture. You can always sand it.
Now if you want the the holes all shellacked, then use a downcut bit, right? Because it'll burn all the way down, and basically it'll shellac the inside of the hole. So you can do it, and I've done it with downcuts, but it just makes too much smoke because you're trying to get rid of the chips.
Sand Labor Grid said, "Got to go for you. Great week, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for joining us.
I'll send you. I'll post those. I'll send you those settings today after we get off the live."
Time is it here? It's 0 Day Warrior. He's talking about Clack.
Well,
I guess Clack is officially fully retired now, sitting around doing nothing, drinking beer on the couch, watching Oprah.
Nice. Oprah's still on TV?
No.
On VHF, he's watching Oprah.
He's watching Young and the Restless or some soap opera.
Chris said, I heard it was for pilots and special awareness.
Yeah, spatial awareness.
Yeah, that's what I heard it was for. That's what I said. I never knew if that was true, but I always heard that. Clack's telling everyone hello. Santa Living Grades, and I appreciate you sending it, Rick. Have a good night. Take it easy, brother. Take it easy. I'll get that to you for sure. You want to take this one?
Chris says Lightburn 2 seems to be more aggressive with USB streams, and a lot of computers can't handle it. Yeah, I don't know. There's a few things with Lightburn 2 that just aren't quite right yet.
So
my nephew upgraded to Lightburn 2 and had to go back to 1.7 because he has X-Tool D1, and it absolutely would not work with 2.
Yeah,
just absolutely wouldn't work.
So X-Tool asked me an interesting question on this front a while back, a couple of weeks ago. They asked me what I thought of using their lasers with Lightburn, and there's a whole bunch of leading suggestive questioning there, right? Like are they thinking of bailing on Lightburn? I think they are. I think they're just going to drop Lightburn support.
You tell them, do you not watch Shop Talk Live because you comment on that all the time?
No, I told them I don't care. When I'm using an X-Tool laser, I use X-Tool Studio.
Right.
I don't have this religious attachment to one tool versus another.
Yeah, I've never had an issue with timing out until I just upgraded Lightburn. But like I said, when I had it, it's because I know the computer's been on for days. So I just
like I've seen this with Lightburn 2. I never saw anything like this with Lightburn 1.x.
Yeah, no, I'm same thing. My computer could be on for a month, and but I had that, I just restarted it.
Yeah. And the thing is, it doesn't happen often, so it's not like you can go to the Lightburn guys and say, "Hey, here's the problem," right?
Right.
Because it's one of those things you push a button 50 times and the tides are high and the moon is full and then it blips for a second.
Yeah, mine was just flat out just stopped working. Like it'll be at like some random percentage and just stop.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Now I use the Mac version, but Jim I think is on Windows, so I don't think it really matters which platform you're on.
Yeah. So speaking of using Mac version versus, you can use Google Chrome remote desktop if you have a designated computer and you just want to control it remotely. That's an easy way to do that.
Yeah. I have, well, I mean, I run my Windows virtual machine on my server, right? So I can just run Microsoft, whatever they call it now. They renamed it the Windows app on your Mac, and you can connect to a virtual machine.
Yeah.
And I mean, my server runs Windows across the network faster than most people's computers run Windows. So works great. I mean, I run vCarve there, right? For CNC.
That's why I was bringing that up too. Is what vCarve is like. My PC is like a $300. I mean, it's just the monitor's too small.
Yeah,
it's nothing about,
you can install like well, I'd say VirtualBox, but install Parallels or something on your machine and run a virtual Windows version of Windows on your Mac.
Yeah. Because my Mac, I have
or,
the MacBook Pro and I'm running 4 monitors.
Or spend, $200 and buy one of those little mini PCs and just dedicate it to your, and you can remote into that thing too, right? So,
right. Options. Roger said, TJ, Roger, it's what is your chamfer temperature on the X1C during long PLA print, and what's
I keep my bed at 60. They're vented. Some of them you can't see because they got the doors shut to cut down on the noise, but the AMSs are slid back on the top of the vent, and they also have fans in them so that if it gets too warm in there, it'll clear the excess heat out.
Do you have to leave doors open or anything?
I do when I'm not down here because they're a little bit noisy with the doors open.
Because previous to the H2 series, they didn't have active cooling, right?
No. Although the X1Cs do have fans on them, they will come on at a certain point.
Mine has the little flap in the front that comes up, and all the little louvers in the back open up. It's very Italian sports carish.
I was gonna say that. At certain speed, just
when you're going fast, the air dams open up.
Too funny. Ordinary Woodworker said, depending on what CNC I'm using, I either use easel, Carveco, Carbine Motion, or UGS. Sounds like he's got a lot of money in software.
Well, easel's free.
There's a free version of easel. It's limited, very limited. Carveco, I don't know. I had a free copy of it when I bought my last Onefinity, and I gave it to somebody because it just looked too hard. I don't know. As Andy Bird says, you always end up back at Vectric, right? And
I used to use Carveco, but I didn't like what they did after one of their updates when they used virtual something. I don't put my crap on the cloud, so I discontinued it.
Like Carbide Motion, that's the one for Shapeoko, right?
Not sure. I did get the Carveco free with my Onefinity as well, but I've never used it.
Yeah.
At all.
Okay. Experimental small dragon right off the 3D printer.
Black said, I haven't sat in front of a TV since my surgical recovery. Too busy.
Yeah. Well, wait till you get entrenched in retirement. You won't have time to sleep.
You're up, Roger.
Okay, what is the orange thing you're making in the background? You're probably talking about right here. Those are miniature Stanley cups.
Miniature what?
They're a Stanley cup. Normally they're green. I'm making them orange. They're for my granddaughter. She wants to use them for something as she does at school. She's a teacher's assistant. Want to know if I can make her a couple.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're miniature Stanley cups.
It's like
You got
a
another
shot
question,
glass,
Roger.
a shot tumbler.
Okay, out of all the brands of 3D printers that currently have, which one you recommend and which one you would recommend to a beginner if you have the budget for it? X1 carbon bamboo. If you want to go a little bit less but still get a good quality printer, the Anycubic Cobra S1 with the ACE filament system on it. Those are the ones I would recommend to a beginner because they're so easy to use. If you're going to drop down even more into like a bed slinger, you get the Bamboo A1.
Yeah, part of the answer though has to be the slicer too, right? Your Orca slicer probably for the
So Bamboo slicer is actually pretty. I use Orca quite a bit, but I also use
bamboo
Bamboo
slicer I think is derived from Orca anyway, right?
Yeah.
But on the Anycubic, probably Orca slicer.
Orca
So
or
you want to step back from that and even explain what that is? Maybe may not even know what the slicer
well,
is.
if you're going to have a 3D printer, you have to have some software called what's called a slicer. So you put your model into it, and then you can do all your settings. And believe me, if you're new to 3D printing, there is a learning curve. Just like there is with CNC or lasers or anything else, you're going to have a learning curve on it. So you have to learn the software, you have to learn your settings, and your temperatures and humidity, and there's a lot of things that come into play.
Yeah.
So what would you? So
the slicer basically takes your 3D model and chops it up into a million slices and prints
so it can layer.
for each one. Yeah, it's basically the way to create layers.
Chris said, speaking of high tides, I remember a problem we had when losing a microwave, like across a fairly big bay. We eventually found it was king tides erupting the link. Okay.
King tides.
Not sure what that means. Tim said Stanley Cups is something that Leafs have not seen in decades.
Yeah.
It's not that Stanley Cup.
No. This is the Stanley brand drinking tumbler. And she also wants me to make her a little small version she can put a trap, like a stick of chapstick in. I'll have to size this down to do that.
They sell them at Hobby Lobby. My son wanted one forever, and I kept telling him no, and they finally dropped the price like $8, so I let him have one. Because I'm like, dude.
I thought they recalled all the Stanley Cups and because they were exploding or something.
They were still selling them. The Stanley Cup for $8, but it's literally like a shot glass. That's how small it is.
Like a real Stanley Cup.
Yeah. And I was like, "What are you gonna do with it? Like, just
so you can take a shot of vodka to school with you." And
yeah. Ordinary Woodworker said, "Yes, Carbine Motion is for my Sherpoco 4XXL. I only pay for Carbco 180-year subscription." Yeah.
I mean, Carbco's powerful. Like it's got like the default license for Carbco gives you more capability than you get with like VCarb Pro, but the user experience is just brutal. Like it's an old piece of software, right? It's been around for 15 years, and it's spun out of, I don't know, HP or somebody, and they never really updated it a lot. So it does things, but it doesn't work the way your brain works most of the time.
Yeah, Aspire was nuts. I think it was over $1,000.
Oh yeah, Aspire is very expensive.
Yeah. I was like, man.
But you don't need it. You only need it if you want to do like 3D or 2.5D rendering of flat objects. Like what you can do with Aspire is you can load like a wireframe image, and you can pick sections of it and you can raise them up and make a 3D model out of them. But that's a kind of a corner case. I mean, I've done it, but it's not something you do on a regular basis.
I thought of it because the memorial stuff I do, like the prayer hands, and yeah, I can buy some of those files and stuff, but I just thought it'd be something that I would eventually use. I started doing people's faces on engraved slate, and I thought if I could start doing that on wood, that'd be pretty crazy too.
Yeah.
But,
Well, Clack's been doing some stuff with flags too. Have you seen his last video there?
yeah, I just saw it the other day. Yeah, an American flag the other day. I've been doing some flags, and then I did some wave flags, and then I did some Union inlay flags. I've been doing a lot of flags, so you're gonna see like back to back CNC videos drop. So I've just
a flag a day for a week.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, actually, it was like more like a flag per the week because learning how to do everything, you know. So yeah. But,
so Chris says, yeah, Carco needs a major UI update. Yeah, it's not just me. I'm glad. There you go. Tim says he's in the trial stage of Carco. Yeah, you can. So Tim, you can load free versions of all the Carco stuff to try. You can do everything in it except actually send it to your CNC.
So Andy kept telling me that, like, Rick, don't buy it, just use it. And I was like, what's the point of the trial?
Yeah,
if you can't use it. But he kept telling me that. Just use the trial, Rick. I'm like,
yeah, it's the G code generator's not there, but it gives you a feel for how easy the tool is. So
yeah,
and it's got preview in it. So, and I've never seen the preview show me something that I didn't actually get when I carved something. So, so you can play around with them.
Cool.
But
we got 4 minutes left in the live, so
easier to use than Carco.
You guys got any questions? Let us know. That's your printer, Roger?
Yeah, if that's what you're hearing, it's probably the printer.
I thought it was a dog barking in the background.
I even turned around and looked to see, you know, what the heck? Why is it making that noise? But it's in the particular cycle it's in.
Chris said Carco's like Carco Trials is like taking a car for a test drive with no gas.
I actually did this once. Like I get in this car, and the sales guy came with me, and I said, like, the tank looks like it's empty. Oh no, you'll be fine. Just about get back to the dealership after the drive, and poof, middle of the road, thing dies.
Oh, really?
I said no gas. Oh
man.
Well, let's just push it back. Like we were literally getting ready to turn into the dealership, and the thing died. Yeah,
so did you buy the car?
No. Not because it ran out of gas. I just didn't like it.
But... Oh, okay. Too funny.
All right, Radu.
Oh, time for a dad joke.
Here we go.
Say, good night, all. Why does a chicken coop have 2 doors? Does it have 4 doors? It'd be a chicken sedan.
Oh, that hurts.
It's a dad joke.
Dad joke. Let's see after this.
There you go. So he had the same experience.
I had no gas test drive too. Too crazy. Yeah, cars are getting pretty nuts, man. Look, you know they're expensive when the dealers are not buying cars. They're literally not accepting the new cars because they have so many cars on the lot. Like, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I drive a Dodge Ram Laramie. It has every option. This year's what 2026? It's 109 grand. That's ridiculous. 109 grand pickup? Come on, man.
Yeah, it's a truck for carrying cow manure.
You know
Why
what I mean?
should it be that much?
But it's not an Escalade. It's a pickup. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Come on. Here you go. You said tariffs.
Yeah,
so I made fun of.
You can tell the Canadian guys, right?
Oh man. Well, hey, you know what? Canada doesn't make any of their own cars, and they don't deal with this.
What are you talking about? Your truck was probably made here.
No, what I'm saying is they don't have no, my truck was made in Mexico. Dodges are
Is it?
made in Mexico. Yeah.
Yeah, there'll be some part of it made here.
No, but what I'm saying is, Canada doesn't have their own brand vehicles, so most of their vehicles are imported. Actually, I think they came out with 2 different brands in the 70s, right? They just didn't survive.
Well, we've had things. The Bricklin, I don't know if you know what a Bricklin is.
Oh yeah, I know what a Bricklin is.
It was an interesting car. It was actually made 100 miles from here. But it was not a great car. Well, it was like a parts car, right? Like they had like a GM engine and a Ford transmission or some crazy thing. Like it was just goofy. So,
well, hey guys, look like we're at time. I appreciate everyone joining us on the live. We had some interesting conversations. There you go. Hold on, let me just take this on camera so you can get a bit.
I haven't taken the brim off the bottom of it yet, but there's a miniature Stanley Cup.
So the old saying goes, if you don't know, now you know. That's what a miniature Stanley Cup looks like.
Well,
but thanks everyone joining the live, and hope to see you on next week. Roger, Steve, you guys want to stand to close out?
I will close by saying to Tim, I have never owned a Lada. It's like Russian Fiat, right?
Oh.
Other than that, that's it.
Okay, we'll see you all next week.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Everyone.
Thanks, guys. Yep. Bye.
Ciao.